Hello and welcome to my very first video on my new channel. My name is Maria Toro and I've created this channel because I wanted everyone to have a space where they can come look for advice and just talk about life in general, right? Things that are on our mind every day, every week, every month, every year, goals, life, love, relationships, career, fitness, anything that's on your mind, I want to talk about. Even if it's a little taboo, I'll definitely get into those as well. So if you do like these type of these type of videos, hit the subscribe button and comment also. Give me comments on what you want to listen to, hear about, or just, I want this to be a space where everyone is giving me questions and stuff like that, and I can answer them and just help out as many people as I can possibly help. I studied psychology as a major, and I always knew I didn't want to be a psychologist, but I've always been so intrigued and so passionate about psychology and sociology and why we do the things we do. And throughout the years, I've done a lot of self-growth myself, and I love sharing my own knowledge of what I've learned with other people. And I thought no better way than to do this on a platform like YouTube, where I can touch a lot of people and talk to a lot of people at once. So enough rambling. This is a long ass intro, I'm sorry. And it is also very hard to film, as I was saying, it's very hard to film YouTube videos. My camera just died, so it's okay, it's a learning curve. I'm learning little by little here. So as my very first topic, I want to talk about something as general as how to be happy. And I'm going to give you 3 steps to little by little get there, but from my own experience, I've learned that these 3 steps are very crucial in finding your happiness. And can we be happy 24/7? No. Can we be happy every single day of our lives? Absolutely not, right? And life will throw you curveballs, just like my camera dying now, and little things that should not disrupt your happiness that much, right? But then the bigger things usually do, and then you're not happy, and then you can't get out of that funk sometimes. So I'm here to help you kind of realize what those are and stay in a happy, positive mindset as long as you can. So the first step that I think is very important is figuring out why you're not happy. Why are you not being happy right now, or yesterday, or in the future? Why will you not be happy? And find out the difference of it being internal or an external factor. So is it your job that you're in that's not making you happy? Because that's an external factor. And then what can you do to change that, right? And an internal factor is you're not happy with the way you look, the way you feel. You don't feel fit. You don't feel like you are where you want to be in life. And that's an internal factor. So that's my very first step, is finding out why you're not happy. And then part 1 of step 1 is figuring out if it's internal or an external factor, right? And then once you do that, step number 2 is self-reflect on why that's not making you happy. And what do I mean by that? Is it self-inflicted? Can you change it, or have you not changed it? And if so, why haven't you changed it? I know this is a lot, and I know this sounds like a lot of crazy steps to talk to yourself and do all this, but this is how you really get to the nitty-gritty, deep down part of why you're not being happy in your life right now. So figure out, is it an external thing or an internal thing? And then what am I not doing to change it? So if it is a work thing, why are you not happy at work? Is it your boss that's just a pain in the ass? Probably, right? What can you do for yourself? How can you act every day where you don't let his negativity be a part of your life, right? And what is it inside of you what about him is making you angry? Because at the end of the day, it all falls back on you and how you let external things bother you, right? Now, if it's an internal thing, like you're not feeling happy with the way you look or your physical appearance, what are you not doing right now to help change that? And why aren't you? What is stopping you? Some people it's fear. Some people it's rejection. Some people it's that they're just lazy, right? They know that they need to do X, Y, and Z to get to that ultimate goal, but they just don't have the time or want to, or just feel too lazy to do it. So that's step 2, is figure out, am I self-inflicting the reason why I'm not being happy, whether it's external or internal, and why am I doing that to myself, right? So just doing some self-reflection. In my life, in the past, I haven't felt happy, and I know that it was an internal thing, because I couldn't pinpoint. Everything around me wasn't making me happy at some point. The relationships I was in before I got married, my job choices that weren't making me happy, or even the friends that I had around me weren't making me happy. And at some point, I had to fire people from my life. Like, you're gone, you're gone, you're gone. And some of those have been family members that have hurt me so much. But if you don't do that, you will not get to where you want to be. But again, that was my first step, is finding out, was it an external factor that wasn't making me happy temporarily, or was it an internal factor? Because those internal factors usually take a lot longer because you're unhappy for a long period of time, but you just can't pinpoint what it is. So that's what helped me. Step one again was finding out what's not making me happy, and is it an internal and external thing, and then figuring out what about it I'm not changing myself. So is it the people around me? Is it self-inflicted? That was step two, was figuring that out. And then step three, once I figured out that it was just, for me at least, I wasn't being happy with myself, because I was still holding on to a lot of things from my past and how I grew up. I was never set up for success as a child or for happiness of any sort. I was actually the opposite. So I think I held on to a lot of those things. And when I finally started becoming happy with who I was as a person, not who I thought I needed to become or be, just loving myself. It was self-love that I was missing, because I didn't have love from those core people like a father or a mother. I didn't have that love. So I miss self-love. And in that same way, I was trying to find love from people that just weren't good for me. And I realized that it was one internal, and it was self-inflicted, because I wasn't doing anything to change that. And how did I figure that out? I started figuring that out. It's been a process. Don't think you're going to figure this out in a day or a week or a month. It might be that easy or fast for you. Maybe I'm just a slower learner. How I figured that out was with my step number 3. I started doing some self-growth. What do I mean by self-growth? I started reading books on topics that helped me or that I thought I needed in my life, like how to be happy, how to influence people and make friends. I started listening to podcasts. I started listening to podcasts and people that I could relate to. Don't go and find somebody that you think is famous and you're just going to listen to them because you want their life. Listen to people that have been through what you've been through and take their advice. Somebody like Tony Robbins for me has been a big one. Oprah Winfrey. People that, like me, weren't set up for success, had even worse childhoods than even I could imagine to have, and still have made such a positive impact on people's lives and on themselves. They are happy, they're self-fulfilled, they have self-love. Those are the people I wanted to listen to and research on. It wasn't overnight either. I will never forget the first couple of times I listened to a positive podcast or a video of some sort, and I was like, oh my God, how am I gonna waste 20 minutes of my time listening to these people rant about, you just gotta be positive, it's a mindset. And I was like, it's not a mindset. It can be a mindset. I know it's not, because I'm just unhappy. And I was in such a negative place that I did not take not one positive thing from at least the first couple of videos I watched. It wasn't until the third, fourth time that I was like, Maria, it's not. Again, I did a lot of self-talk and a lot of self-reflection. I said, Maria, it's not about you wasting your time. I would listen to these in the car. I was like, am I wasting my time listening to these podcasts in the car instead of listening to the same songs and music? Or am I enriching my brain, my life, my thoughts? I'm giving food to my thoughts in my brain rather than listen to that music or those things that, or being on my phone at every red light and just being on social media that, you feel just drained after that. So I said, stop thinking that this is just not helping you at all. Whether you take one thing from this video or nothing at all, at least you're using your brain. You're feeling better about yourself, just because if nothing else that day, I listened to a positive podcast and they will put you in a good mood. Eventually, they all put you in a good mood. I promise you that much. So I don't want to make my first video the longest video of all time. So again, self-growth is so important. That was my step 3. Self-growth, and that can come in different forms. For me, it was that podcast and those books and those YouTube videos that I watch. I don't know if I have a lot of YouTubers that I follow, but Stephen James is one of them. That Project Life Mastery, he's great. but that's more career oriented, which I will also get into in these videos, is how to find your career path and your career choices and what makes you happy. But yeah, I think doing those 3 first things is figuring out what is making you unhappy. Pinpoint it to so exact that you know in a day what is making you unhappy in that day. Is it waking up alone? Is it waking up pissed off because you got to go to work, so is work the reason? Or is it that you're just not happy with your relationship, or you're not happy with who you are as an internal person? You're like, oh, you look in the mirror and there's nothing you like. Doing that research and then figuring out, are you self-inflicting this? Is it the people around you? What is it about this that's not helping you, right? And then self-growth. And self-growth, like I said, was a hard one for me, doing research and trying to feel like other people had something that I should really learn, because I've always been so hard-headed, like I don't need to learn anything from that person. You do. You learn anything from the person walking down the street, you know. You can learn something from everyone in your day. So I hope this video helped a little bit, and I hope I get to see you guys liking this video, subscribing to my channel. I plan on making a lot of videos this way and just going through everything, my topic list. And I have a sheet of paper of all the topics I want to go through, and I think they're all huge, and I don't think a lot of this is on YouTube right now. So I hope to be that channel that everyone goes to, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Bye!